after a long summer, are you feeling like you need to get back on track with health and fitness? If so, you are not alone, but I do have three things not to do in order to make sure that you get back on track and stay on track moving forward. You're listening to the Begin Within Health Show with Nate Slager. For more, go to beginwithin.fit/podcast, or to enroll right now in our flagship coaching program, go to beginwithin.fit/coaching. Welcome back to the Begin Within Health Show. I'm so glad that you are here with me once again. Thanks for joining in with me, sharing some of your time and attention. If you'd be so kind as to share this show with someone you care about, perhaps a workout buddy, someone that used to be a workout buddy, or someone that's a friend or family member who you know is concerned with health, fitness, and wellness. If you could share this show with them, it would mean so much to me. Also, rate and review the show if you're listening on a podcast player, or leave a comment, subscribe to the show if you're watching the video on YouTube. Thanks again so much for being here. We are talking about getting back on track. And that is a phrase that I hear a lot from individuals who go through some real life situations that take them away from their regular routine of health and fitness, wellness. You know, you take a vacation, you go through summertime. And by summertime, I'm talking about June, July, and August, where I live. Those months get crazy. I feel like the only time of year that's even comparable would be the end of the year, when there's lots of time off and family get-togethers and people taking holidays and traveling around. It is crazy. It gets us out of our regular routine. You know what that's like. And so what do we say then? I got to get back on track. I got to get back to health and wellness and fitness. And whether that's a phrase that you like to use or not, personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I like to say, let me get back to normal. That's what I like. Let's get back to normal. I believe that language has a lot of power. And when I acknowledge that my normal is not being consistent with my workouts, with my veggies, with my meal prep, those types of things, when I acknowledge that that's not normal and I'm getting back to normal, I believe that it has some power to kind of help me understand what my normal kind of homeostasis, what my normal version of Nate is. And that's the healthiest version of myself, the version of myself that's working out most days a week, the version of myself that is eating my veggies at most meals, the version of myself that's having lots of protein throughout the day, protein every time I eat, the version of myself that's taking my vitamins. You know what I mean, right? I'm on my normal routine. So whether it's you're getting back on track or you're getting back to normal, here's three things that I want to make sure that you don't do. Three things that I don't want to do either. Every time that I get into thinking, I've got to get back to normal. Here's three things not to do. First of all, don't be the hare. I'm going to talk about that. Secondly, don't focus on results. I know that might sound surprising. And then third, and this one may not be so surprising, but this one is super important. Don't do it alone. Those are the three things that we're going to dig into here on this episode. And again, the reason we're digging into this is the time of year. When I used to work in the gym, post Labor Day, we saw a huge increase in attendance. Our personal training clients were showing up more consistently. Just the gym was a fuller place to be. And now that I have a business that's entirely online, that I run with personal training and health coaching, as well as doing this podcast and other things to support my community, I see the same. After Labor Day, when the kids are back in school and things are cooling off outside and there's a little bit less daylight, perhaps the wild summer time, packing in all the vacations, the family barbecues, the weddings, the graduation parties, that's all over. I see that there's a new focus. There's a new focus in our Begin Within community. And I have to imagine that for you, as you're listening, that there's a focus now, maybe a renewed focus to get back to working on those health and fitness goals. And I think that's awesome. So here's the things not to do as you approach that. Again, number one, don't be the hare. And I'm not talking about HAIR. I'm talking about HARE, the hare. And I hope that recalls for you the story from childhood, the tortoise and the hare. And if you're into this concept, back in episode 137, I covered a similar topic. We talked about kind of getting back into the fitness season in that episode. So go ahead and listen back to that if you want some more motivation and a couple of other perspectives that I think will support you as well. That's episode 137. But don't be the hare. Okay. And I think you know exactly what I mean if you're familiar with that story. And just a quick recap, if you've never heard the story, and I'm sure you have, here's the deal. The tortoise is racing against the hare. Or when I was a kid, I was like, what's a tortoise? What's a hare? It was the turtle and the rabbit that were racing. And everybody knows when you look at them, the rabbit is going to win. It is built for speed. The turtle, not so much. However, you know the story. Because the hare was overconfident, he is like racing up ahead and then he's relaxing. He's hanging out with his friends. He's taking detours and all this because he knows he's going to win. I can beat this tortoise, no problem. But you know what happens. Because of his overconfidence, because he's relying on his speed, the tortoise, who's just consistently plodding along, ends up winning the race. Lots of life lessons in that for us. Don't be the hare when it comes to health and fitness. Be the tortoise. The tortoise wins every time. What I'm saying is consistency is more important than intensity. Consistency is more important than intensity. Lifestyle changes that are permanent, and that's what we're after. Permanent health improvements, they take time. And it takes time to build trust in yourself. Trust that when you set out to do something, when you set out to make a change, when you set out to make an improvement in your life, you're actually going to do it. These things take time. And it takes time to experience how good feels, how healthy feels, how healthier feels. It takes time to change our routine. It takes time to change our schedule, to incorporate healthy things into our life. It takes time to change our thinking and time to notice clues, time to notice the clues that tell us we're on the right track, that we're headed in the right direction. These things all take time. And that requires we have a perspective that the quick results aren't the best for us long term. The slow change, the real change in life, and the accompanying results are what we're after. And along those lines, I want to talk a little bit about that last thing I mentioned. It takes time to notice the clues. It takes time to put this all together, the things that are contributing to us feeling better, being healthier. Here are the clues. We've talked about this before on the show. The clues are like this. I slept great last night. I feel less pain today. I feel more positive today. When we have days like that, or we make statements like that, or we just have a conscious awareness that that's taking place, that a positive change has happened. I'm feeling different. I slept better last night. These are clues, and it takes time to notice them, and it takes time to start putting the patterns together. If, in effect, saying, why? Why did I sleep better last night? What did I do differently yesterday? I think it was this. I think it was that I didn't snack before bed last night. I fell asleep faster and I slept better. Maybe that was it. It takes time to realize that, to have some awareness, to identify the pattern, and then try it again. To start to say, okay, that felt good. That was great. I slept great. That's what I'm after. Now I have to stop snacking after dinner. That's my project. Let me try it again and see how it feels. It did work. That is the thing that's helping me sleep better. And sleeping better, feeling healthier, moving in this direction feels so much better than that snack feels at night. So much so that I'm going to continue to make this my new normal. Not snacking is my new normal because I want sleeping better to be my new normal. We can do the same with the times when we say, hey, I feel less pain. You know, that knee pain that I've been having, it's gone. What's the reason for it? What might be the reason for it? What did I do differently yesterday, the last few days? What have I been doing that might account for less pain? Or I feel positive. I feel more positive than I felt in a long time. What's the reason? What might be the reason? Follow the clues and then try them out again. I think it was this. Best guess, it was this. I'm going to do this again and see if this continues. Does that make sense? This all takes time. These are things that the person that's looking for a quick result never experiences. Quick changes. They don't go through this process. As a result, they don't improve their health long term. They may get a quick result, but then it's often undone just as or even more quickly. They go back to where they were before or even farther away from their destination than they were to begin with. So don't be the hare. Okay. Promise me you will not approach getting back on track or getting back to normal, whatever it is. You won't approach it in a hare like fashion. Hare. Okay. Be the tortoise. You get the point. Let's move on. Number 2, don't focus on results. And you can see how these are connected. Perhaps you, as we were talking about the hare, right? The quick results, focusing on the quick results, you already knew we were headed here. Don't focus on results. Please don't focus on results. Here's the reason why. When we focus on results, we cut corners. We cut corners. Here's an example. The result that I wanted on the test in high school was an A. All right. The result I wanted was an A. That was my focus. That's all I want is an A on the test. If I get an A on that test, I don't care what else happens. I'm going to be successful. I'm only focused on that result. You know what I'm likely to do as a result of only focusing on the result that I'm after. I'll do whatever it takes to get there. In fact, I'll cut corners. I'll take the shortest path to an A that's possible. And this happens all the time, right? You know, one of the quickest ways to get an A would be to cheat on the test. What do I get? I get the result anyway. I get the result that I was so focused on. But of course, I don't really benefit long term. In fact, I have now perhaps backtracked in my education or for sure in my personal development, right? Being rewarded for not having growth mindset. It's a big problem. And if you're a parent, you're listening, you don't want your children to do that to get an A. You'd love for them to bring home the A's, but is that how you want them to get them? No way. You don't want them to cut corners. But here's what happens when it comes to health and fitness and wellness. If we're only focused on the result, and the result I'm talking about sometimes, maybe most times, is I want the number on the scale to be lower than it is. What do? We're looking for fast weight loss results. We're searching for quick weight loss, rapid weight loss. And there are all kinds of people that are going to provide us with a solution to that problem. They're going to help us get an A as quickly as we possibly can. But what happens is oftentimes we don't actually get healthier, even though the number goes in the direction that we want. When we focus on just the results, we might fall into the trap of getting the result, but not getting any healthier. And I know you're here because that's not what you want. You want to be healthy and have that result, right? All right, good. That means we're on the right track. Okay. So, what do we do instead? Instead of just hyper focusing on that result that we want, we focus on being healthier. Simply being a healthier version of ourselves is the ultimate destination for us. Those other results, the numbers, the A's, they come along the way as we make real lifestyle changes to become healthier versions of ourselves. So, what are the areas that we're talking about? Now, we're not just saying, I just want that scale to go down. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how I get there. I just want it to go down as quickly as possible. Here's what we are really talking about. These are the things that make us healthier, make our bodies work better. How we're eating and what we're eating, how we're drinking and what we're drinking, how we're sleeping, how much we're sleeping, our thoughts, the health of our thoughts, our internal relationship with ourselves, our ability to deal with stress, how we're moving, how well we're moving, how often we're moving our bodies, and also the quality and quantity of the connections that we have with others that are positive. Those are the things that end up contributing to real health. And as we work on them, as we work on improving in those areas, becoming a more healthier version, as I show up in the kitchen, as I show up in my sleep sanctuary, as I show up in my own mind, as I show up to the gym, as I show up in my relationships, being the healthier version of myself in those areas, the other things are going to come. I'm going to be a better student, right? I'm going to get better grades because I'm becoming a better version of me, a healthier version of me. Does that make sense? You following me? So the question is this: am I moving in a healthier direction overall? Am I healthier in my actions than I was yesterday and the day before, last week, last month, last year, last 5 years, 10 years ago? Am I healthier now than I was then? And we might find that the grades maybe don't look quite the same. The number on the scale doesn't look quite the same, but we can honestly say, I am eating healthier than I was 10 years ago. I'm sleeping better than I was 10 years ago. I have better, more quality connections with others than I did 10 years ago. And when we could say those types of things, we're moving in the right direction. We're becoming better versions of ourselves because we're not focused on just the result. Does that make sense? I know it does. I know that's why you're here. So don't be the hare. Don't focus on results. And now finally, please don't do it alone. Don't do this alone. I want you to think about this. If you can't commit to someone else, and this is in the health and the fitness realm, I won't take it out of that. That's the point of this show. Health. If you can't commit to someone else when it comes to your health and fitness aspirations, if you can't commit to someone else, then you didn't actually commit to yourself. If you can't bring someone else into the process and say, help me, help hold me accountable to this thing that I am determined to make happen, then you're not really that determined to make it happen. I know that can be really tough to hear, right? that if you didn't commit to someone else, then you didn't really commit to yourself. But I believe that it is very, very true. If we can't raise our hand and say, hey, world, hey, family, hey, friend, hey, personal trainer, hey, coach, I am committed to becoming a healthier version of myself. If we can't say that to someone else, raise our hand in some community, even if it's a community of two people, us and someone else. If we can't say, I'm trying to be healthier to at least one other person, then I don't think we're really trying. I don't think we really committed to making it happen. So don't do it alone. If you need to get back on track, don't do that thing. Don't do it alone. Get support. Join someone else. Invite someone else to join you. Get a workout buddy. Join a community. And you could just dip your toes into a health and fitness community. We have a Facebook group that's linked in each of the show notes for every single one of our shows. Join a community, do something to raise your hand and say, I'm working on being a healthier version of myself. Take that step, because once you do that, it provides you with some additional motivation, some inspiration. It helps you establish your identity as a healthier person. And that is what's going to carry you through the difficult times, especially if you have somebody in your corner who's going to say, hey, you didn't show up last time. What's going on? What can I do to help you to show up the next time? Invite someone to be that for you. And it's going to make a huge difference in your journey. It's going to make a huge difference in you getting back on track or getting back to normal and beyond, making a new normal, a healthier normal than ever for yourself. Don't do it alone. And feel free. I mean, you're here with me. You might just be listening in the shadows. No one knows you're listening to this show, just you. But feel free to join me. Like I said, the Facebook group is linked in all the show notes. I also have a program that is linked in all the show notes that you can get started on right now. It's open for enrollment. It's very minimal, about $1 a day to be part of this coaching program. And those that kind of give themselves over to that, jump into that process, even though it's not a huge investment, they get the results they're looking for. They get the lifestyle they're looking for. They move in a healthier direction. So don't do it alone. So those are the three. Don't be the hare. Don't focus on results. And don't do it alone. You made it all the way to the end of this episode. I know that this is probably a very busy time of year for you. If you're listening to this when the episode first comes out, it is just about Labor Day weekend. There's probably school shopping going on, or kids are back to school, are going to be going back to school. Life's kind of hopefully settling down soon, but I know that if you're listening to it right now, it probably hasn't quite settled down if you're listening at the time this episode comes out. So I want to thank you for spending some of that precious time with me. And I hope that this mindset episode has been one that's going to help to calibrate you in the days and weeks to come as you get back on track, as you get back to normal with health and fitness. Thanks again so much for listening to the show. Thank you for your support. Thanks for rating and reviewing the show and sharing it with those that you care about who are also interested in health and fitness. Keep taking good care of yourself. I'll talk with you again soon.